Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we're breaking down all the goals scored in the Clown World Cup. Yeah, it's really interesting. I was listening to, I might try to clip it and put it into just a sort of a roundup of listening to some of the US commentators thinking that people in Europe care about this. Like, oh, I know the stands aren't full, but you should see the people in the street. Like, mate, everyone takes this as preseason friendlies. Like, it's a joke. It's seriously a joke. I'm gonna have to put a compilation of some of these people talking because it's just embarrassing. But if there's a preseason friendly you want to see, it's two European royalty teams in the old, the old grey lady and Real Madrid going at it. Even though they're not really going at it, but it's still nice to see them play. It's yeah, but there's a couple of funny moments I'm going to try to show you before we get to the actual goal, because there's not much to really break down. Really, it was two teams taking pot shots outside the 18-yard box and no one really trying to win the game, or that's what it was. But I just want to show you this from the kickoff. Right, I have a huge problem with the kickoff going backwards. You're allowed to putting it backwards nowadays, and you're not. The old little rule where you had two people there because the ball had to go forward, and then the other guy would pass it back. Well, the purpose for that was because they wanted to make you think about going forward and attacking, not passing the ball backwards and keeping possession. That's why they got rid of the goalkeeper being able to pick the ball up and pump the ball down the field, because they didn't want the people passing the ball backwards to try to, get down the field easily. And they wanted to make you move the ball forward. And now you're allowed to just knock the ball back from a kickoff. It's taken more and more away from football. And all these little things add up. Because they've taken all these little tiny pieces away and people don't know what they were there for in the first place, it's just slowly eroding the game of football. This isn't the game of football that I fell in love with 20 years ago. It's just not. It's rubbish. But you still get some funny moments, and you have to be watching to see them, and we're going to show you one of those right now. This is pub football at its best. Let me just move it on just a little bit. He's punting the ball down the field. So here we go. We see the ball coming down. Remember, this is Real Madrid against Juve. This isn't the dog and duck against the pony, whatever, pub team you're in. Because if this happened on a pub team, you'd be yelled at. But this is Real Madrid against Juve. Watch. Ball comes down. Both players miss the ball completely and utterly underneath the ball. Just first kick of the game. No, we just got that wrong. Don't worry. Next guy's got it. No, he's completely got it. Just like, oh, to me, it just makes you wonder, how bad are these players now? Like, could you get a team from 10 years ago at their prime and play against some of these teams and see what the difference would be? Because these guys can't even win a header straight kick to them. It's awful. It's awful. Both teams. It's awful. I had to show you that because I was in stitches when I saw that. I was just like, really? Really? Oh, my goodness. But let's move it on. Just want to show you a little bit more pub football and terrible everything. Balling over the top. All right. And Vinny Jr. goes to run after it. All right, fine. Happens all day long, putting the ball in behind, making the defenders run back and defend it. Okay? All about that, because you never know what might happen. Defenders could give you corners and just do rubbish things. And that's one of the things I'm going to show you right here, how poor the level of defending here is for Juve. And it's not the defending part, it's the defending with the ball. And it's really you have to sort of understand there's many sort of different breakdowns of defending. And I hate using the word phases of defending because it's like I'm back on the field coaching again. I hate that, right? So, but you have to understand you've got possession, or you're getting possession of the ball. Can you keep that possession defensively? And right here, this is what I'm talking about right here. The goalkeeper can see all of this. You see he's got acres and acres of space. There's no way Vinny Jr. is getting to this ball. Look, it's bouncing, rolling, and he just knocks it out. All he has to do is take a touch, knock it to the keeper, everyone relax and keep possession of the ball. But no, just wellies it to the sideline. Poorly, may I add. So poorly because he doesn't know what to do really with his touch. And this goes down to one of the points that I raise quite often with modern football is they can't play football. They play a system. So if they actually have to do something that breaks down out of the system, they're in trouble. That's what I was talking about with the other day. If you watched my video about the Brazilians playing against Manchester City, you don't know how to beat them because, well, they only play against systems and they don't play against players that can just sort of adapt, move around a bit, play a bit, pass the ball a bit. Classic example right here. Doesn't really know what to do, so he just kind of hits it. Does go for a bit of a chase though, which is kind of hilarious. Look, On the other guy now, a bouncing ball, what's he going to do? Same as his teammate, really. What, he's just going to try to wellies it down the field. And you're like, you're professional footballers. There's no way on earth that that guy should be knocking the ball into the corner there for you to knock it down the field. That should have just been straight under control, knocked to the keeper, everyone relax and start playing the game of football again. So from a layman's sort of point of view, you go, well, what's the big deal, Cash? Well, the big deal is this is early in the game. This is 2 minutes. They've got all the time and energy in the world. They know exactly what they're trying to do. And you're playing like that. That's just terrible. That means so many things on a fundamental level. So that's what a lot of people don't realise. The fundamental level of these players is getting worse. They don't really understand. Well, I'm facing this way and I don't know how to defend. I'm not allowed to kick the ball out, but I'm going to kick the ball out. So he goes to kick the ball and he doesn't do it properly. Like if he just puts it out for a throw in and then regroups, you go, oh, okay. But he doesn't. He doesn't do any of those things. Just kind of half hits it. And that's the point here. All these little fundamentals that have been in football and the reasons they've been there have all just been eroded out of the way, and they're all just doing tactical systems. And you can see it with the technical abilities of players just dramatically just dropping off. It's awful. But let's move on to something, otherwise I'm going to be on a rant about that for another 10 minutes. I have to cover this miss because it's just shocking. And this is where I come down to, it's pre-season friendlies, and this is how people are taking it. Because if you're in this situation right here, what are you looking to do? Go straight through the keeper's legs, go round the keeper, not try to do something that, well, you're not capable of doing. And that's awful. That gets your team knocked out in the Champions League, because who cares about getting knocked out the Clown World Cup? But you just can't do that. That's just awful. Yeah, and that's what. Here's the hard part about it as well. This is what the frustration level is at football. You get one opportunity to do that, and that's it. If you do that and you score, you're great. And if you do that and you miss, you're forever going to be awful. So sometimes you just don't put yourself in that situation just because it's 0-0. If it's 1-0 and you're winning, it's okay. 0-0, everyone is going to remember it. Yeah, we're going to remember it. But let's move on. I do want to bring this up, and the reason why I was talking about that, just the lack of players that can play football nowadays is huge. So they're all playing the system, and you can see right here, you can see that all this is his system. They ignore him because they know they're not stupid. System, and then someone doesn't play that game and breaks everything. The only problem is he doesn't know what to do after he's broken the system. So let me show you what I mean, right? Off he goes, boom, straight through. Brilliant. Now what does he do? Now what he really should do is look for a pass right there. Okay, that would be ideal. That's exactly what he needs to really think to do, right? He's broken the system. He's broken the line without trying to do creative little passing, something that football lacks. He did something that not many players do anymore because they're not allowed to, is they're running with the ball. I can remember when I was working for, let's not say who, because every time I mention that particular Premier League club on my channel, I get in trouble for actually pointing all that stuff out. So, and I was in China, and I was watching some of these players, and then I was asking my translators, to say, why don't these players take anybody on? This guy's lightning quick. No one on the field can get anywhere near him. He just needs to run past people. Why doesn't he do it? He said, if he loses the ball once, he won't be playing next week. So he won't lose the ball. He won't run with it. He won't try anything. And that's why it's all going out of the game, because it's about the system, right? And that's why I'm harping on about it. But here you can see a player running with the ball, breaking through, and this is what football lacks. Someone doing this. Now, as he goes through, he does take a shot. It is a bit of a pants shot. Look at how much space if he had just laid it off. So he did the first thing absolutely brilliantly, and then he could have just, because he broke the system. But yeah, let's move it on. I want to show you this little tiny turn here as well, because I'm a fan of these little turns because they do open up space. Look, watch, boom, boom, off he goes, straight in behind, and this should have been more punishing. Lack of athleticism. He does slowly get caught as well. But this is the difference. He turns inside. Look, he turns inside. And what you want to do then is turn back. You want to try to get a little bit closer. I know he's on his right foot and he thinks this is the opportunity to shoot, but he doesn't have the technique to shoot and score from there. You're talking about one of the best goalkeepers in the world. You have to get closer. And if you can get a defender doing this, if you know what I mean, what was called a tank slapper. So if you imagine a tank and you got your little tracks on either side, right, and then one tank it goes one way and then it goes the other, and the tank ends up doing this, right, a tank slapper, right. That's what the defender is doing right there. It's an old Second World War thing that's actually gone into nomenclature, that's dying out. You keep turning the defender because you've got him. You keep moving him, closer to the goal, so you've got a better opportunity. You don't just smash it from there, take a deflection and get a corner. You had the defender, you cut inside, he's moved, you go back again, you keep moving him, you keep getting him done until you go. I'll tell you who did it really well if you want to look at it. It was Mo Salah, and I think it was against Manchester United, and it was clipped everywhere because he did it to the player twice and he fell over. There's loads of times you can see defenders doing it and they fall over because you're just twisting them too much and they fall over. He had that opportunity, didn't see it, hit the ball, got a corner. I would have preferred a goal. Do want to just show you this little moment here, just because you can see, look at what's going on. Like, that is unacceptable. It really is. You've got too many players getting sucked into the ball for absolutely no reason. 1, 2, 3 Juve players shouldn't be anywhere near here at all, getting completely sucked into the ball and opening up this opportunity for the ball to go in over behind. Actually, did you see? He stopped and pointed. Go with that, man. Oh dear. Yeah, straight in behind. They don't end up scoring. I actually really think Real Madrid are really missing a decent striker. They are. I know you might say Mbappé and Vinicius Jr., but to me, they're just wide players. Are they really, really good? Yeah, but they're not strikers. The guy sitting there, when you fizz this across, he scores. They just don't seem to have that. Mind you, I don't see there's many of them left in the world because they're not coaching them that way anymore. But that was just a little bit too naive, and they got caught out a little bit there. And there's a reason I'm bringing up that, because I'm going to show you when this goal comes in. I think this left-hand side for Juve is a little bit weaker than Juve really understand. But let's move it on and look at the goal. I'm going to really have a little look at what's going on here. Okay, there's no actual pressure on the ball whatsoever. No one's close enough. You've got players. You remember that left-hand side that I said for Juve defensively is pretty weak? It's because the players aren't really knowing what they're doing. You can see when you had 3 players running for the ball on that side, they just aren't quite sure. And I don't know if they're, and let's be fair, it's pre-season. Right, but so we're not sure if that's going to be their starting lineup, who it is. No idea. But as this goes along, look, bump, out we're going. You have still got 2 players out here completely unmarked. And I don't mean you have to have a player. And this is one of the other things I think I should do a video about it a little bit, about unmarked. Marking doesn't mean that you stand next to the player, but unmarked is you're completely free on a side of the field, right? You can have any player over here, anyone in the near vicinity of them being able to. What that means is when the ball's over here, fine. And they've got a Harry Potter the ball over here for him to receive it. But what I mean by that is you can't get the ball over there without someone running over to pressure him. He can't instantly receive the ball, and he can't instantly receive the ball, even though they're completely unmarked. So you can get over there and defend it. But right now, there's no one close enough to get over there and defend it or pressure it from this situation that they're in. They're too far away if the ball goes over there. So as this ball moves on, look, bump, bump, we start to go in pressure over here, which is fine. Look, they've identified it. They've got absolutely acres of space, right? He needs to be tucking in right now and filling that space there, not going towards the player, filling that space. So if the ball goes towards the player, he can deal with it, or if the ball goes over there, he can deal with it. He is not dealing with anything at all. Anything there, that's behind him, or anything in front of him, there's no Real Madrid player for him to be dealing with at all. Doesn't make any sense at all. Ball comes in, bump. And now we're looking at Bundle. Still stood still. I don't mind one at the top of the D. We all know that. Should be there. But you've got technically 3 there. Yeah. And you've got 1, 2 completely just standing around. Ball gets knocked out. It's a decent header. But here's a problem again. He's headed that ball. This is a professional football player. He's powered that ball into an area where there's not a single Juve player. There's one there, there's one there, there's one there, there's no Real Madrid player, and that's the reason that this goal gets scored. Everyone else will be pointing out about anything else, but that's the reason. He has just headed that ball as hard as he can into no man's land, when he could have just put it to one of these 3 players' feet, and there's no issue. And off you go down the other end. That's the difference of actual quality footballers and just average footballers. And by the way, I mean that at the highest level still. That's just awful. You just cost your team. Not only your striker, who decided to try to chip a goalkeeper for no reason. But that header there is out wide to them and not down to feet here. And you had time to do it. You're good enough. You put a lot of power onto that. All of a sudden, takes a touch. Now they've got to reset. Now we're going to keep our eye on this little jamboree here, because this is where the goal comes. Okay. Now, obviously, remember him, like I said, need to get out there and pressure. Well, it's too late. So he's not close enough, so he can't put the pressure on properly. He's getting out so it looks like he's putting pressure on it, but he's not, because he's too late. So he's just going through the motions of being over there without actually being able to do anything. So when the ball gets whipped in, I want to replay this because I want to show you what actually happened here, because I watched this real time. Watch what these two do here. I think it might be the same defender that headed the ball away. He starts manhandling Rudiger, right? And then completely and utterly unmarked, dosh, and he throws Rudiger to the ground. But let's just rewind that ever so slightly. If I go back, here he is right there. Right, boom, boom, boom. Look who he's marking. He's marking the goal scorer. Okay? Completely marking the goal scorer. He's in no man's land, but then he stops. Watch what he does. Stops. He sees that he's facing up here, and he sees Rudiger's unmarked. So what he does is he switches. See that? Completely leaves him go, switches, goes to Rudiger. And now the unmarked player, Trent, spotted him, and he puts the ball on his head, and he gets himself a goal. You've only got 2 Juve players, and you've got 3 Real Madrid players, and you've got just people not knowing what they're doing. Really, it's just not really good enough at this level. It's just not. Put it this way, wouldn't happen if I was coaching them. That would never happen. Never happen at all. Other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.